Hola party people. Welcome back to a series that has been gone. It's been years. I feel like it's been years. It's been like 5 whole years since you guys have seen this title anywhere to be able to click on, but we're in a new area. Obviously, we're not really in a closet, but you could just pretend. What we're still going to be doing though is getting these closet confessions. And today, our special guest is Fred. Hi, Fred.
Hello.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. This is a very, very fancy closet.
Yes, and we're grateful for your contribution.
Yeah,
all this fancy furniture came on the Fred train when he got here. Are you nervous?
No, I'm pretty open about my life, mainly because I'm so different than my past, and so I think it's a cool testament to like the level of change you can have in your life.
Yeah, you look comfortable. Okay, you're ready for all the things.
Yeah, curious what you're gonna ask me though.
We'll start with the basics,
okay.
Right? So you tell us when your birthday is, how old you are, where you're from, and your favorite color.
Well, one of these people might know already. So my birthday's July 1st, 1998. So I'm 25 currently as we're recording this. My favorite color is green, which people from Ninja Chat might know just based off my color.
What shade of green?
Chat. I prefer a darker green, but any green works. Yeah. Like any green's better than any other color. But yeah, if we have 2 greens, I'm going the darker one.
Okay.
I'm from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. My parents were military, so I actually spent most of my time growing up in Georgia at Fort Stewart.
Georgia? How was that? Did you like that?
Oh yeah, I like Georgia a lot.
And it being like you're on base then, or just in Georgia and your parents like?
It was some of both.
Okay.
Early on, we lived on base, and then some little later years we lived off base, just kind of close by. It was probably my second favorite place to live outside of Arizona. Arizona, number 1 for me.
Yeah? How long were you in Arizona?
4 years, just my 4 years of college.
Okay.
And then moved out to New Mexico.
Oh, and we're gonna get there. What made you decide you wanted to come to New Mexico?
Dion.
Yeah? So what was the first thing you saw? Like, how did you find Dion?
Ooh, so my freshman year of college, so this would have been like 2016, one of my roommates wanted to play Madden with me. And so I bought Madden, watching a little bit of content here and there, playing the game on very rare occasion. And one of the videos that popped up was Juice versus Trent. I think this was before Mutt Wars. I think this was just like their against each other series. And it was the Panthers versus the Falcons.
Okay.
Which is my favorite team, the Panthers, and my brother's favorite team, the Falcons. So I was like, I gotta see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And the young man Trento got it done. Won with the Panthers, with Cam Newton and everything still on the team. And so then, I don't know, just kind of like, I became a big fan, became a Team Trent member after that, and just kind of watched the rest of the series. Yeah, just fell in love basically with the channel from there.
Yeah. So then what was the moment that you were like, you know what? I'm moving to New Mexico.
So I was living in an apartment with a roommate. This one I was still working also at Microsoft, and my roommate was also working at the same place.
Okay.
So like we ran into it. We knew each other from college. We both started working at the same place, just like happenstance.
Oh wow.
And so I moved out of my college dorms my last semester and moved in with him. Or we moved in together. We both got the place at the same time. And everything was going fine until like a couple months in, he just got like real spotty with like rent and bills and stuff like that.
Like not paying?
Yeah, not paying, yeah. I was like footing the entire like bill for about 3 months.
Wait, was he saying something or he was just like, Fred got it?
So like, basically I would send him on Venmo like a money request for how much the bills were. Like I was tracking everything and I would just send him how much he owed for that month. Like, yeah, he like didn't pay one of them, and like followed up with him, and he was like, oh yeah, it's just, it's real tight right now, this and that. And so, remind you, we're working at the same place.
and paying the same bills. Like, it's tight for you where, besides our home?
And so, like, it was confusing for me, because I was like, I work the same job as you, we live in the same place. I blow a lot of money. I do a lot of escape rooms. I was spending like hundreds of dollars each weekend on escape rooms.
Okay.
We're still good here. I have a car. My car is newer than yours. I have insurance bills. Like, so I'm confused where all your money's going. And so, yeah, after like 3 months in a row of him not paying, I was like, okay, look, like, you're not paying rent. You're just gonna have to like go back home. Like, don't want you here anymore. And so he moved out. Fortunately, his mother was so sweet. She actually paid me back all of the money that he owed me.
Wow.
And but after that, I couldn't afford the apartment by myself, and so I could have lasted out the rest of the lease, just like slowly eating into my savings. But I figured it would just be smarter to get out of that situation and move out here.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, people are so weird.
Yeah, I think it came down to his eating habits. He ate out a lot.
Yeah.
And I think he's just, 3 meals a day, every day. It's just...
It adds up, I guess.
It'll run through you. And it's all Ubered and stuff like Uber Eats or DoorDash and all of that. It's not like he's going and getting food, so it was even more expensive. I think that's what it came down to.
Man. And then you were like, you just packed up your car and you just like showed up at the doorstep, or what? What was the, like, what was the process?
Kinda. So I eventually was officially hired here in September 2020. And so I put in my 2 weeks at Microsoft at that point. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And October, since I was only working for Maverick at that point, Dion said like, hey, you can just like come out, see, everybody, just hang out with us, get to know everybody. I'm like, okay, sure, why not? And so I drove out. That's when I got to meet my now best friend, Ant.
Hey.
He was the one that answered the door when I knocked.
Bromance.
And so I was supposed to be here, I think, for like 4 days or something like that. I ended up here like 9. I kept trying to go home, and everyone's like, no, just stay like a couple more days. We're gonna do this and that. And then, now there's another beef street. You gotta stay for that. It's like it just kept, going further and further. But I eventually left because it started snowing. I was like, I'm not getting stuck on this mountain.
Right.
And I didn't know how bad the snow was here yet. And so I went back home, and then in November. Then at that point, I think that was when my roommate had left, and probably around October. And so I was like, Dion said, hey, there's a spot open at the office. If you want to, move up here, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told him like I have a lease and this and that, and he's like, yeah, we'll figure it all out. And so actually my mom and stepdad flew out to Arizona, helped me pack up my whole apartment, threw everything in a U-Haul, and we made the drive.
They're so sweet. They really are nice people. And for the curious supporter who's wondering how you ended up with like a one-on-one invite from Dion to come out here, how did you specifically get your job here?
Yeah, it's actually been asked a lot. It was funny because when I was introduced, it was like I'm working on a G19 project.
Yes.
And so for everyone wondering, project still hasn't been released, so no one still knows exactly what it is yet. But honestly, it was just during a stream, during a Ninja exclusive stream, Dion just kind of mentioned something that he had a desire to do, and I was like, I have that expertise. I can help you with that. And he had me send in a resume. It was actually really cool. A couple of days after I emailed him my resume, he responded with just like a video. And this could go down a whole rabbit hole of like my testimony to coming to Christ and stuff. But I actually missed the email. And I was on my way to the airport for my brother's graduation.
Okay.
And in checking for my flight little
your check-in code and stuff.
The little code you need. I seen the email from Dion. I'm like, wait, what? And so I open it up in the Uber on the way to the airport. I had my headphones on. I listened to the whole thing, and he told me, he's like, you were a only person with a legit resume that actually knows what they're doing. Yeah. And he's like, I want you, to work for us. And he's like, we're just gonna talk some more, kind of figure it out, and that was where it started.
I love it. That's so cool. Way to shoot your shot, Fred. Well, we love having you here. I love having you here. Fred's awesome. Get to know Fred. You've kind of made comments about having a testimony in your past and things like that. So, have you ever been arrested?
No.
You never been arrested?
I have not.
No? What's the most trouble you've ever gotten?
I got a speeding ticket coming back from Arizona.
That's it? You got a speeding ticket? Okay, that's the most legal trouble?
Yeah,
okay.
legal trouble.
Let's say, what's the most trouble you've ever gotten into with your parents?
Growing up would fight a lot. And fist fights with people.
Like kids on the street or strangers?
Like kids in my school and stuff when I was a kid.
You was fighting?
Oh yeah, I was a brawler. I've been jumped a lot. And 2 of those times I had friends there and we outnumbered them and I still got jumped.
Your friends didn't even have your back?
They jump in.
They just let you get dragged? That sucks.
I did win one. I won one 1v2 fight.
Okay.
But yeah, so there was a time where a bunch of us were at the bus stop and we were all just kind of like roughhousing. So no one was like actually fighting. There was a bunch of the guys just like roughhousing, throwing each other around and stuff. It was we were all middle school and elementary school, so it was like middle school just throwing around elementary school kids and stuff and having a good old time. But there was one guy I didn't really get along with all that well, and he was also out there. Me and him weren't interacting at all. We were fine. But I was tired. I backed off. I wasn't a part of what was going on anymore.
Right.
And out of nowhere, I just get like kicked so hard in the back of my leg, and just off instinct, I just turn and swing. And as I'm turning, like it just happened like slow motion in my head. Like
okay.
As soon as I get hit, I'm like, I know exactly who just hit me, and I'm swinging back. And as I'm turning, I see the person that I'm so certain just kicked me, and I'm like, who the heck just kicked me? Like still mid swing. And as I come around, I see there's now a girl behind me.
Fred, stop! Fred, stop!
Just kicked me in the leg, and I was trying to like pull back the punch and stop, but like I clipped her nose, and like she just went down, and like.
But it was her that kicked you?
She kicked me.
Not that it's okay that he. I'm just saying. I just want to make sure the facts were clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
She kicked me. I thought it was someone else, so I turned and swung. Obviously, if I knew it was a girl that just came up and kicked me, I wouldn't have just swung on her like that.
Right.
But I had no clue, and so my stepdad was very, very angry that I had hit a woman. So I would have been in more trouble. My mom was upset because like I did like get suspended and such. And so like I still was in trouble. I still was grounded, but it would have been much worse had my mom not been like, well, she did hit him first. Like I taught him to defend himself. And like, I just wish anyone would have listened to the part like, I didn't know it was her. I didn't just like intentionally do it. She did hit me from behind and I just reacted.
Right.
I don't feel like I should.
What'd you do to her though? Why'd she kick you in the leg?
I don't know. Like, we actually had like no beef that I was aware of.
So she was just trying to get a link in? Like, she was like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this too.
Yeah, I mean, after that, like, we obviously had issues. Like, her dad was also very upset, obviously, that I'd hit her. He actually came up to the bus stop the next day and threatened me. Or not the next day. When I got back to school, I was suspended for like 3 days. But when I got back to school, he like drove up to the bus stop and like threatened me. It was a whole big thing. Like me and her both had mutual friends. We couldn't like both show up to the same parties or anything anymore. Like it was this whole big deal all over this like honestly misunderstanding.
Because she wanted to kick you for no reason.
Yeah,
you're like, I didn't mean to punch her in the nose, but it's like,
Yeah, all over that.
That's crazy. So suspended for 3 days. That's still not even as bad as I would have thought, Fred. What's the biggest lie you've ever told?
Biggest lie?
It's okay, you're grown. You can't get in trouble for it now. Tell us all the dirt.
I mean, probably somewhere along the lines in some relationship where I was cheating on somebody and telling them I wasn't.
Fred, you be cheating!
I don't be cheated. I used to cheat.
Fred, you was cheating? Like habitually? Like you was just like a cheater? Or you have like specific scenarios that you're thinking of? Like you had...
It was fairly habitual.
You're a womanizer.
I had a bad habit of getting into relationships with females I was not actually vested in. And so I didn't care, and so I would just like do whatever. But anytime I've been with someone I genuinely cared about, like I would behave myself, turn it off because I care about that person. It was just more of a really bad habit of just being with people I shouldn't have been with. And
right.
yeah, just leading to bad decisions.
So you're just letting your freak flag fly in college.
This is actually mostly high school. College, I actually ended up meeting a girl, really liked her, and actually like taming it down.
Yeah? How long were you guys together?
A year and a half.
Oh, wow. Is that your longest relationship?
No, a longest relationship would be 3 years.
Fred, you're not that old. When was that? Like, wait, hold on. That was high school?
It was high school.
So you had a high school sweetheart.
I guess, but she cheated on me, so
Bruh.
I think that's...
Is that where your cheating started? Is that your origin story?
I think it was a big part of it because I've been cheated on twice, and after both of those situations, I did always go into like a really bad, just like womanizing phase. Because in both situations, I really cared about the person. I was on my best behavior. I did everything I could to make them happy, and then like I got cheated on, and then I just like turn around and just go crazy.
Wow. I'm proud of you, Fred. I'm proud of you. Now you plan all these elaborate dates for conversation and getting to know people. Oh, Fred. I'm proud of you. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Like I'm sure I've been embarrassed plenty of times.
But no, like, big moment that comes to mind.
Yeah,
where it's
nothing
like,
that's
the most embarrassed I've ever been.
Yeah, nothing that's like traumatized me or anything, or like, yeah, like when you mention that, it's just like I fly back to, oh yeah, man, like I can't believe I did this. I think like most people just having like the, you know, I can't believe I said that stupid thing to this person at that time or anything like that, or yeah, nothing like
That's like
super big.
It's like a blessing to get like through 25 years of life with no most embarrassing moment.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't know, I just don't have a lot of like shame, and so.
Nothing awkward ever happened to you. I don't have a lot of shame. well, that's good. So you feel like you're pretty confident.
Yeah.
You're not really too worried about stuff usually. So it's like, be embarrassed for what?
Yeah, you know, Ecclesiastes, you know, like all of this, like there's no real, you know, consequence of anything that happens to you, you know,
Yeah.
but people think any, like whatever, because I mean, there's probably a technical most embarrassed time that I felt,
Yeah.
like whatever it is, even if I still remembered it, whoever I was embarrassed about like seeing that happen or hearing that happen, they don't forgot about it, they ain't worried about it.
I love that. And that's absolutely true. You heard that, kids. Good advice. People don't care. Well, so confident. Well, then what about a fear? You have any fears? Or does your confidence surpass the fears?
I think like the weirdest, like kind of, or like not weirdest, but like the biggest like thing I kind of fear is like honestly like being alone. And I think that that's what resulted in a lot of like the bad relationships that I had because like I just wanted to be in a relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is Luke just asked me not that long ago, when's the last time that I went 2 full years without being in a relationship with somebody?
Yeah.
And I was like, that was probably before I ever had a relationship.
Right.
Like, ever since I started dating, the longest I ever went was like maybe about a year, a little over a year, something like that. And then it's just on to the next. And that's normally after like a heartbreak. And I'm like, I don't want to date nobody. And then I get back out there.
You're like, it's a canon event. Next girlfriend. Are you dating someone now?
We're not officially dating, but like we're talking, we've been on dates, but like she's not like officially my girlfriend.
Okay. You think that's her expectation? Do you think she's like waiting to be, does
Yeah.
she think she's your girlfriend?
So I guess I'm not 100% certain that she feels the same way. Like,
Okay.
but I have every full intention of making her into my girlfriend. I am waiting for the fact that I've had a lot of relationships I've rushed into.
Okay.
And then they end up, after I've rushed into it, I'm like, oh, this isn't, you know, this person's different than what I thought, or, you know, I should have gotten to know them better. Now I'm in a relationship, okay, well, I was trying to make it work, and then it just ends up like months of like misery that could have been avoided if like we just went on a couple more dates and we were like, we're friends first, and then you know, went into it. But I mean, we both are talking in the way of like a future together, and getting to know each other with that in mind, and so I think we're on the same page.
That's good. And then what do you look for in these relationships? Like, what do you look for in a girl? What's your type? Or in a woman, a young lady?
Well, definitely these days, number one is believer in Christ. Beyond that, just someone that I think values truth and like common sense, and is just like willing to just like work with me and just grow with me.
Fred.
You want physical?
Fred.
Was that what we're looking for?
No, but listen, if that is your genuine answer and the physical doesn't matter, then it'll take me to my next question. It'll change my next question. But is that the thing? You're like, physical doesn't matter?
I mean, like, obviously I want to be attracted to the person. So like,
okay,
you know, you do have to be attractive to me. But yeah, most importantly is the actual like, because looks fade.
They do.
So I care more about the mental and like, you know, the things that you care about, that we care about the same things. Like, I've always like not number one now, but like growing up until becoming a believer, was like, I just wanted a girl that would let me game. I don't care if she games. I just want to be allowed to game. Because I've met people that are like, they try and like get me to stop playing video games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like my username is always gonna game.
Yeah.
And so like it feels bad like telling them like, look, I'm like kind of choosing video games over you, but like you're trying to take away like my biggest like passion.
Right. I feel like that's what's gotten in the way the most. But you don't have any specific physical type or anything. You're not like, oh my gosh, I love brunettes or anything specific or like nothing like that.
Like short, white, and blonde would be like my typical like type.
Okay. And then the believer thing. So I don't know, how do I want to ask? So the fact that that's the main thing for you for a relationship is that she's a believer is such a huge deal. Like that's crazy.
I'm
so
glad
now,
you're smiling so much.
So listen, it's crazy. It's just like I'm so proud of you. So I'm trying to like keep my interviewness going, but it's like the fact that was your answer is like so amazing to me. I'm so proud of you. So then it was the Bible that attracted you to like us and all of our godliness? Is that what made you want to be here?
Actually no. I just like loved the channel and like everyone that was here, everyone's energy, and everyone was just like so funny and cool and stuff. And so that was what brought me to wanting to be around. My dad was really big into like Christianity and stuff and tried to push it on me growing up, and I always just kind of like rejected it.
That's what strayed you away. Okay.
I wouldn't even say that it strayed me necessarily like away from it. It was just like, it was something as a kid, it's something that has to be reinforced well. And so my mom not kind of teaching that in our house growing up and my parents not living together, it was kind of just like kind of being, you know, hit with it when I go see my dad. And then when I get to go home, I get to like just forget about it and ignore it, and I don't got to worry about it. I don't got to read that. I don't got to pray and like all of that. And so it was just like, it kind of felt like more encumbersome, like a chore when I was around him.
Yeah.
But then because of Dion, he, when I first started working here, asked me questions about like how I thought the universe started, what I believed about like morality and stuff like that. Like, how do you know someone is good, or how do you know that you're good and stuff? And so some of my answers that I gave, what he's like, when I told him what I answered, he's like, well, that's from the Bible. And I'm like, well, I didn't even know that, like, because I had never read it, which I actually got in trouble for in high school for not knowing any stories from the Bible. But I'm like, I never read it. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And so because of that, it led me kind of to try and figure out those answers.
Yeah.
And there was a book, I don't know the guy that wrote the book, I think it's like Frank something, but it's called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist.
Yes.
And so he had a video, like a talk. It was like a 4-hour video. And I ended up watching that, and that basically led me to the point where I was like, okay, it makes sense that there's a creator, there's a God, and all of that. But I spent the last, I think at this point, like 22 years, you know, rejecting that whole concept.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so he's not gonna fuck with me no more. And so like, I kind of like, put it off since I tried to ignore it basically. Mm-hmm. And then either Trent or Mama Lynn in one of the Monday morning meetings mentioned the Crazier Faith series by Michael Todd.
Yes.
And I watched that first sermon. I was in the house by myself. Luke had went home for Thanksgiving break, and Aunt had moved out at this point. And so I was in the house by myself, watching this sermon, just crying. I was so happy that everyone was gone.
Yeah.
And he talks about, being like a liar, and I want to say like talking about being addicted to pornography and like all different kinds of stuff. And like I'm looking at this man that's like, reaching like millions of people with, for God and what he's doing. And I'm like, well, shoot, like if he can take, Michael Todd and turn him around into, this like super huge pastor that's impacting so many people's lives, I'm like, he'll probably let me at least like believe in him, I can at least be a believer. And so that was, how I came to it. So it took like basically like over a year, like, or right around a year of like a journey from like the first questions from Dion to like asking so many questions to people like Aunt, Dion, Ben. I don't know if you guys know Ben, but Ben's been around like sometimes. Mm-hmm. He ain't been around in a while, but he was around when we drew an IRL and stuff back in the day.
Yeah. And then where are you at with your walk with God and being a believer today? Like, what does that look like?
I mean, daily Bible check-ins, church twice a week, and just constantly just trying to pursue and just understand God and the Bible as much as I can. I'm still on my first like read through the Bible. Yeah. And so I feel like I'm very much still in like a learning phase of it. And so actually tomorrow I will finish Psalms.
Hey.
This morning was Psalm 149. And so yeah, I'm just reading beginning to end. I've been through the Gospels and Acts already, and so I've read some of the New Testament, but yeah, mostly just trying to just basically read through the Bible so that I at least have it's in there somewhere, like everything that's in the Bible, and then, I know that the journey doesn't stop there. Then it's like, okay, now, read it, another time, try and find new things in it. I plan on getting another translation, reading through another translation of it, just to try and pick up everything that I can.
That's so awesome. I'm so proud of you, Fred. And you've started like a group or like a class or something at like the church, right? At Legacy Academy?
Yeah, I'd run an after school club at the Legacy Academy for the middle and high school students. This is about video games again, actually.
Which is your passion, which is awesome.
Yeah, I teach them about like how to create their own games and stuff. Using Scratch, which is something I learned when I was in high school, and just I thought it was really cool, and I was like, I want to share this, cool outlet to the next generation.
That's so cool. I love it. I want to come. I'm too old, huh? I can't come to the club. I gotta be a student.
I have 4 seniors that were asking me if they could come back next year and still do it. And I was like, look, I don't know the rules of the school. Yeah. If the school lets you come back in the building, you can come to the club. But I don't know if you're allowed to come back.
How does that make you feel though? Like
it's really dope. It's awesome. Just like being so loved by the students. They often tell me that I'm like their favorite teacher. And I'm like, guys, I'm not a teacher. Like, I don't work here.
You're teaching them, though.
That's their response. Like, you're teaching us stuff. And so you're a teacher.
Exactly.
And you're our favorite. They've written me tons of like little letters and stuff like that. I have them up in my room. I probably have like 6 or 7 now that they've written me over the past like year and a half. And they all wanted me to sign their yearbook. So last year at the end of the year, actually 3 of them saved an entire page for me. And I was like, look, I can't sign an entire page of your yearbook.
Yeah.
Like, give that to someone else. And so I did like a sticky note size little blurb in everybody's yearbook.
That's so cool. Like, and I hope you realize that and you don't like downplay the impact that you're making like in these kids' lives, for them to be at a place where they're like, yeah, I'm done with high school, but I want to come back and kick it with Fred after school is insane. Like, especially in this day and age, like, it's not as easy to come across a kid who's ready to even put their phone down, let alone stay for something after school that, you know, they're not getting some cookie for, you know, just to be craving the knowledge that you have for them and to be enjoying that time with you is amazing. And to you moved out here a whole atheist. Now you like can quote the Bible and know what's in the New Testament, and been through the Gospels and all the things. Like, I hope when you sit and you watch this back and are listening to yourself talk, you realize how much you've grown and how awesome you are. Like, I'm so grateful for you sitting down with me. I've enjoyed this conversation so much, and I'm so proud of you.
I have as well.
So, thank you guys for watching. We're gonna let Fred get out of here. I interrupted his whole work day so he could sit down and talk with us. Let us know who else you guys want to see on our closet couch. And if you have any other questions for Fred, get in the comments. I'm sure he'll come poke in and talk to you guys.
Yeah, I'll answer a couple more questions. Why not?
We appreciate you. I love you guys. Until next time, God first. God